We've been told our whole lives that failing is bad, that if you fail, you're not worthy, and if you fail, you're terrible. For example, in school, when you failed your exams, they'll tell you that, you're not going to go to university, you're not going to get a job, you're not going to make money, etc. But what if I was to tell you that failure is actually a good thing? And in fact, I myself love failing. Now, you've probably got a lot of questions, but I'm going to go through everything in this video as to why I love failing and why you yourself should too. So, again, we've been told our whole lives failing is bad. When you fail your exam, you're told you're not good enough to go to university, your grades are terrible, you won't be able to get a good job in the future. I mean, we've all gone through this at some point in our lives where, we were brainwashed into thinking that failing is actually bad. Now, in life, failing is actually the best thing that can happen to you because it teaches you lessons. As long as you learn from that lesson, you can always use that failure and understand where you failed, where you went wrong, and then the next time you do something or the next time you do the same thing, you understand what to do next. You understand you're in a much better position because you failed, you understood the assignment, you understand where you failed, you look at the drawing board and you're like, okay, I failed here, and now you're like, okay, cool, now that I failed here, now I know what to do next time. And you might fail again, you might fail again, and you might fail again, but eventually you'll become successful. And if we just had success all our lives, if you just did something and became successful, you wouldn't learn anything, it wouldn't teach you anything, it wouldn't grow you as a person. We're so conditioned to believe that the people we see on social media, all these influencers, all these people that are multi-millionaires, even billionaires, that they had no failures in their life, they just went from A to B and became successful. That's so far from the truth. All of the influencers you've seen today, all of the people that have money, they've all failed so many times to get to where they are today. Failure is a part of success. You're not going to be successful without failure. You're going to fail so many times before you become successful. I myself have failed so many times to get to a point where, well, I wouldn't say I'm successful yet. I'd say I'm definitely in a better position, and I'm still failing in a lot of aspects of my life, but I'm failing better, if that makes sense. I'm failing with more knowledge this time. So when I do fail, I understand the next time I need to do something, I'm aware of what I need to do. The reason I love failing, the reason I genuinely love failing, because I know I'm going to learn a lesson, and because I'm one failure less from success. Because I understand that to become successful, you need to fail. There's going to be so many failures along the way. And if failures are guaranteed for me to become successful, then the way I look at it is that's one failure out the way, Think of failure as steps. Every time you take a step, that's one failure out the way. You're gonna fail, the steps. To get to your destination, there is steps, but when you take that step and you keep taking steps and you keep failing along the way, you will eventually get to success. So that's the best way to look at it, is failure is required to be successful. And the issue is with a lot of people, and majority people I'd say, that as soon as they fail, they give up. And when they give up, they go back to being comfortable, they go back to their boring, mundane, broke lives, and they failed. So for them, it's just like, oh, this is it, I can't do anything else. Because this is what you're conditioned to believe. You're conditioned to believe these things because from school, they've told you that if you fail your exam, these are the last exams. If you fail them, there's no hope for you. So I kind of understand when people have that mindset, but at the same time, you've got to understand that life is not about that. Life is about failing. How many times do you think Elon Musk has failed to get to where he is now? There's so many people that have failed numerous times to get to where they are today. I failed so many times. Like, I look back now and I think, man, the amount of times I failed to get to where I am today. But honestly, I'm so glad I failed those things because it's made me a much better person today. It's made me realize things. It's made me understand things better. It's made me perceive things in a different way. And ultimately, failure is just going to make you a better person, because when you understand that this thing is going to bring failure and you understand you're going to tweak it slightly and go forward, you're going to become better. And also, a lot of people are scared to start things because they're scared to fail. Trust me. Do you know how many people I know that won't start something because they're scared to fail? And they don't realize that failure is guaranteed. Like, you're going to fail. You're not going to become successful overnight. It's going to take time. It's a process. As with anything, it's a process. You're going to fail. It's guaranteed you're going to fail. So if you are in a position right now where you want to start something, let's say you want to start a business, you want to start a YouTube channel, you want to start a TikTok page or an Instagram theme page, or you want to start drop shipping or whatever the case may be, don't be afraid to start because you're scared you're going to fail. Make the start whilst anticipating that you will fail, because what that's going to do is that's going to manage your expectations that, look, you are going to fail, but don't look at failure as the end. Don't look at failure as that's it, there's no going past it. Failure is a stepping stone to then take you to another failure, which will then take you to another failure, which eventually you're going to get to success. But the only way is through failure. So don't worry about starting something because you're scared to fail. Just do it anyway. And I promise you, if you don't emotionally invest yourself in a business and in anything you do in life, if you don't emotionally invest yourself into it and you have that discipline where you're just going to work hard and you're going to do it anyway, eventually you'll overcome all the failures, eventually you'll overcome all the stresses and the issues that come come along the way, and you will reach success. And now I've come to a point in my life where when I fail, I'm actually excited. In fact, I'm more excited when I fail than when I'm successful, because when you fail, it's teaching you something. You're learning something, you know? It's not the end goal. It's teaching you something where you can become better. When you become successful, you become complacent. When you become successful, okay, yeah, the result's good, you become successful, but you know, you start thinking you're better than you are at times. You know, success breeds that. Success does breed that. Whereas failure can humble you. Failure can teach you the harshest lessons of life. So I personally believe we should celebrate our failures as much as we celebrate our successes. No one shows their failures on Instagram. None of the influencers, none of these billionaires, you know, are showcasing all their failures. Failures are something that happens behind the scenes. It's something for you to deal with. You know, it's not something for everyone to see. I understand that as well. But, you know, everyone has this perception that, for example, this Instagram influencer, you know, he's got so much money, he's living the life, he's got no stress in his life. It's completely untrue. Everyone has stress in their life. Everyone has failures in their life. You know, not everything goes smoothly all the time. But at the same time, you need to be able to deal with the failures. You need to be able to learn from the failures so you can then turn that L into a W. So that's why I love failing, and this is why you should love failing as well. So whenever something bad happens in your life, whenever something happens where you failed, you tried to do something and it failed, celebrate that, because next time you do it, you're going to do it much better. But yeah, thanks very much for watching, guys. Make sure you share, subscribe and like, and I'll catch you guys for another video.